You were discussing critical space stuff with your pals the other day.
Hello and welcome. Skillet coming to you from X4 Foundations, and let's talk. Now, this Let's Talk is going to be a quite bit of a shorter video, but let's talk about one specific faction. That's the Alliance of the Word. Now, my question, really, for you guys is, how many of you utilize Alliance of the Word? And I'm going to start with this. I typically don't. I don't. Until now. Because when I found this out, my mind was legitimately blown. And let me go over why. Alliance of the Word. We have a fleet. Our fleet, which has been changed a tad bit, has been expanded upon. Its makeup is a little different, but this is our fleet nonetheless. We do have an added Phoenix, which I will say, I don't know what's going on in this universe, but pirate L-class ships are a lot harder to come by than a lot of the previous universes. Maybe it's because we're in the base game. I don't know. The ones that I do find, 9 times out of 10, or 10 times out of 10 really, have been destroyed by whatever station they were trying to pirate, which doesn't allow me to pirate them, which puts me in a bad spot because our fleet is not where it needs to be. Right now, we are relying heavily on S and M class ships. I need more L class ships. I need more L class ships because of a specific threat. Yeah. Did you guess what that was earlier? Yeah, it's an I. Yeah. This battle group is an issue. Now, right now, it is only in as misfortune. It will pass through the gate. It will come into Frontier's Edge. It will pass into the Void, which is where our fleet has gathered. We have been stemming the tide of Xenon through this gate. We have been very successful at it. It's been very lucrative to be here. Even as we add the DLC, this gate is a more active gate, as you know, the Xenon go. It's not as active as like 451 or Matrix 9, or when we add the Cradle of Humanity, it's not as active as the Hatikva's Choice Gate, which has shown some activity, but not a whole lot. Maybe because that's just how this sector really is, Thark's Cascade, with the environmental effect. Honestly, don't know. But for the most part, our problems stem from here. Specifically, that. Yeah, that's not fun because it produces K's and I's. This we don't really care about because it's P's, M's, and T's. Big whoop. An I and a few K's, however, pose a problem. So, with our fleet, I have decided to get the Nodan. And you might ask, well, Skillet, why the Nodan? Well, if you think back to a few series ago, 3-4 series ago, when we did the the OOS, the out-of-sector carrier combat videos, we had the Nodans. They are tried and true. They are effective. That was carrier combat. This is slightly different since they are not a part of a carrier fleet. They are on kind of like their own. I'm not sure how to describe. There's just not a carrier. You know, it's not a carrier. It's just an L. It's just a behemoth making the judgment calls here. Maybe that makes a difference. Honestly, don't know. But I said, let's do the Nodan. But I want a fast interceptor. Most of the S-class ships in this fleet are slow. They're below 300 meters a second. I want something faster. I want something that can hit hard, fast, and hopefully thin out a herd or a horde of Xenon as the other ships come in. That was the goal. And this brings us back to the Alliance of the Word. Not just because the Nodan, but because what the Alliance of the Word offers. Now, we'll start over here with this large station because guess what? It offers a builder. Yeah, a builder. However, this builder is practically the quickest builder in the game. You're going to be able to go to build sites, build jobs a lot faster. So if you wanted to buy a builder, do it from the Alliance of the Word. The Paranid builder, I believe, is the fastest builder in the game with all the DLC. If anything else, the Terrans might be a close second. I think the slowest would be the Split. No, actually, the slowest would be the Talati. The Split's probably somewhere in the middle. But the Paranid ship is one of the quickest from my memory. If I'm wrong, put it in a comment. I'm wrong. But from my memory, I believe the Paranid ship is one of the fastest builders out there. And look at it. It's a large hairdryer. Just like all the other Paranid ships. That's a large hairdryer. That's that station. That's the wharf. Or shipyard. Shipyard. Let's go to the wharf. Now, if you're new to the game, this is probably one of the stations you want to find the fastest. Because this station offers you a plethora of options for ships. Let's take a look. S-Class. Discoverer, Elite, Gilgamon, Kestrel, Nodan, Pegasus, Callisto, Courier, Magpie, Thetis. Yeah, well, you know what I'm talking about. The last one right there. Now, these are all the Vanguard variants except for the Nodan, because the Nodan is an Alliance of the Word ship only. You're not going to find that ship anywhere else. It's a decent ship. I like it. You've got the Manticore. You've got Demeter, Hermes, Ides, Mercury, Tern, Vulture. You have, again, Vanguard variants of them all. But you don't just have the ships. Let's pull up the Nodan, right? Pull up the Nodan. You have all the hard points. And when I say all the hard points, yeah, you get the Ion Blaster, you get the Mass Driver, you get the Moon Charger. And you get these hard points at a lower cost point than you would the actual faction it comes from. Which blew my mind, which at that point I had to look back at our repertoire of videos, and I said, well, how can I always get the ship that I want? And lo and behold, I found a video about presets. And I said, that's a great idea, past self. Present self loves you. And hopefully future self will love present self more because he... Well, okay. Well, in the future, we're going to love it too. The Nodan, 3 million. We can pump this out no problem. We already pumped out 12. They have the mass driver. They're going at 363. It's amazing. This is the interceptor I want. Now, I will say that there is a downside, and that has to do with the weapon system itself, the mass driver. You have somewhere between 2 to 3 shots before it overheats. We only have 2 weapon slots on the Nodan, and both of them are taken up by mass drivers. So we need a swarm. The more lasers out these guns on target, the faster things will get deleted. And that's what the mass driver was when the game first came out. It was that weapon of mass deletion for the Xenon. It was amazing. So, what, we're version 6.0, 6.2, somewhere in that ballpark? Let's roll the dice on the mass driver again. Now, it's no Bison Lance. Nothing compares to a split weapon. It's not even, was it the, what's the Terran beam? It's not the Maison, is it? Is it the Maison? The Maison beam? Which is basically a smaller version of, like, the Asgard beam? Can't think of the name. Somebody put it in the comments. But this was that go-to weapon. Other than the... Oh. The bomb launcher. Which is not here, because that is a Sentinel variant. It's just one weapon you don't get out of Alliance of the Word. But you have some of the best weapons to be able to make ships... well, to make pilots bail from ships. You have the ion blaster, you have the burst rate, the beam emitter. These are things that you want to use. Not only that, but you also have the Discoverer, which is arguably one of the best ships to use for making other ships bail because of its low hull points. Now, I will say this. Reaching level 20 with Alliance of the Word is wasted. They don't do anything. They're not a faction that wants to take on territory. It's just it's the wharf in the shipyard. That's all it is. But what they offer is everything. Let's say you are looking for a trader that has the most space. That's 10, 8, 12... 8, 7, 7, 1, 7, 9, the Vulture. Let's say, well, I want this to go the fastest it possibly can, not in travel mode. Combat Mark III. 123. Or, I'm sorry, 132. Compare that to 128. But notice, travel speed is a bit different. 14, that's 13, 14. You have everything you could possibly want, especially early game, in Alliance of the Word. You have heavy-hitting weapons for lower than it costs to do it at the parent. No, let's actually just show you that, right? Let's go here, because this was a contender with the Nodan, by the way, the Pegasus or Perseus. Sorry, the Perseus. So we could actually do Mark 1s for the combat. It wouldn't be that bad. Shields. 2 mil. 2 mil. Opposed to, what was it at Alliance of the Word? 1 point something? 1.2? Great. Perfect. It's everything that I want. Do you guys sleep on Alliance of the Word? Do you level them up? Do you utilize them early in the game if you're a veteran player? Or do you just forget about them, like I have typically done? What do you guys do? How do you deal with Alliance of the Word? And if you're new into the game, they're a great place to go. They are here in Trinity Sanctum 7, and they are in Sacred Relic over here. Now, these two stations are hard set stations. They should not move in any universe or any playthrough that you do. Just like any of the other shipyards, wharfs, or equipment docks. The only change to certain stations would be the Duke's Buccaneers places and all the smaller manufacturing and defense stations. Those are the ones that really get randomized. But let me know. Do you guys use them? Do you utilize Alliance of the Word? This is going to be Skillet.
My ship is being scanned.
Oh, hello. Why are you being scanned? Not our radar. That's fine. Be scanned. Do you guys utilize them? No, yay, nay? Leave it in a comment. How do you utilize them? That's actually a better question right there. But coming up, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be splitting. No, you and I are not. It's not a you me thing. We're diverging into two parallel missions, so to speak. On one hand, we're going to have the Paranid missions that we're going to do episodically, because I'm not sure how the unification will go. And then on the other hand, we have a goal. Sorry for just moving that face up. Our goal is this. We have to stop the Xenon. This goal should be a little easier to accomplish than possibly just the Paranid alone. That's going to be a little longer of a thing. As long as we can not engage this fleet, we should have a good shot. We'll probably have to secure Frontier's Edge first, and then make a mad dash to the shipyard. That also means we probably have to, oh God, spend more money on Odysseus's. Those will be the ships that we take down the station with because they have a longer range. We can stay out of the Gravitons area, and we'll have to pull in the Phoenixes in anti-fighter support. So we might have to buy 1 to 2 more Phoenixes and maybe a few more Odysseus's. We'll do the E's because they have a little bit of a longer range because of the longer nose. But, is what it is. But once we're done with the Paranid missions, we're opening up to the split. So we're not very far off on moving into the next DLC. So this is going to be Skillet signing out for now. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, whenever you watch it. There's going to be another video coming out sometime relatively soon, and it's going to be in regards to the channel itself. Not just another thank you video, but a way of planning forward. Because, well, we'll leave it for that video. But this is going to be Skillet signing out for now.